And also, let me take the attendance also. Download attendance list. And let me put the attendance on the WhatsApp. I request the CR to please keep the record of the attendance. At the end of the semester, I will ask for this.
Okay, sir.
Irrigation section. So I'm sending it to the both sections on WhatsApp. Meeting attendance, either one, each of you should arrange it for your section. And those who have joined it, just make the attendance. I don't know if they are sitting or not. Okay. Our plan for its delivery of this course before mid and after the mid is shown over here. The green background is prior to midterm course. We will be covering introduction part and including the indus-based and irrigation system. And we will be covering the water sources project, how they are being planned, how they are being managed, and the departments which are involved in planning and management of the water sources system. And we will be telling you the design of irrigation channels. Already, I think this first introductory part and this part have been started. And another thing which we will be telling you the methods of irrigation, I think, and calculation of the crop water requirement. So these things will be covered prior to midterm, and after the midterm, canal irrigation structures like canal headworks, selection of the sites and layout, weirs and barrages. So these components will be informed to you, will be covered in the after the midterm time period. Silt ejector, silt excluder, design of the weirs and the permeable foundation, things like that. And what else? Design irrigation works like canal headworks, falls, flumes, these will be informed to you. Canal lining, water logging and salinity, and I think tube wells, drains, and the tube wells will be in the previous in the hydrology. You have covered in the subject of hydrology. You have covered two formulas, if you remember. One was the theme formula, and one was the thesis formula. One related to the calculating the discharge if the condition is steady in the tube well in the pumping well. If the steady condition is there, we used to use a theme formula, and if it is unsteady state is there, then thesis formula is used. So in this part of this tube well, we will be telling you the construction of the tube well. What are the components in the boreholes, the pipe, the screen, the shrouding around it, and so we will be talking more about the construction of the tube well instead of the calculation of the discharge for a tube well. And we will be telling you different layouts for the drains. Drains design is similar to the design of the channels, but the layout will be informed to you in this part. So who will be covering what part is shown by the color of the text. I have been assigned duty to cover introduction, water resources, irrigation works, irrigated agriculture. Habib Saab will be taking care of design of irrigation channel, canal irrigation and water logging. The relevant books, these I will say these are the textbooks. You should have the access to both of these books. You should buy it if possible. You should get soft copy if you cannot buy it. So these are the two options. Or you should get it issued from the library. Iqbal Ali book or earlier versions are available in the library also. SK Garg, I am not sure if it is available in the library or not, but its soft copy is also around available around. Get it from some senior or from some your friend or some of your teacher. So you should be having one of these books. I show you the cover page of the first book, Irrigation and Hydraulic Structures by Iqbal Ali, Dr. Iqbal Ali. So that is covering most of the topics which we are teaching over here. These topics of canal irrigation is chapter 4 of this book. These barrages and the head regulator. Barrages is I think chapter 3, low head diversion dams के नाम से. And from this book you will be doing the lab assignment also. The lab work that will highly dependent upon this book. We follow this book, Iqbal Ali, Dr. Iqbal Ali book. If you have to work in the SI system, so then the second book, SK Garg, is in FPS system, and this is a huge book, cover most of the irrigation engineering and the related structures and related principles and related management practices. Even covers the dams and the spillways and stilling basins. So it goes beyond the topics of Iqbal Ali. Iqbal Ali is relatively concise, that is more detailed and easily written. So SK Garg is a book, SK Garg book of irrigation engineering and hydraulic structure is, I will recommend that should also be with you. In addition, some reference material which you might need for further studies or further knowledge. This book written by Novak and Moffat, hydraulic structures. We use this in MSc also. So those who intend to go to the MSc, they should get it now. Principles. So these are some other books. If you have the Garg and Iqbal Ali or either of these books, that should be considered sufficient. Irrigation department have compiled their irrigation practices in the form of the book. So they call it Manual of Irrigation Practice. Recently they have revised it into 2017 and they have made it available in on their website. Irrigation department have made it available on their website. So PMO is a subsidiary of Irrigation Department, PMO, Project Monitoring Organization of Punjab Department. They are monitoring the irrigation project mainly. So they have made this manual of irrigation practices that covers all the topics which we are teaching over here. So that is a good reference material. Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO, they are taking care of the agriculture activity worldwide. That is a subsidiary, as sub-organization. Subsidiary means sub-organization. They are a subsidiary of United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization. They have huge library of the materials related to agriculture and irrigation. So they have the website available over there. You can see a series of their writings on irrigation and irrigation practices. One of their research paper is called as Irrigation and Drainage paper number 56. This is about calculation of the crop water requirement. This is about calculation of the crop water requirement in for agriculture purpose. So that can be helpful in the topic which we will be covering in design of irrigation and in crop water estimation. But these things are covered in these books also. So if somebody want to read in detail, so these are the additional reference material. So these two books I will recommend you should have it. These are at your choice. If we go through the definition once again, more or less similar definition has been placed in different literature by Iqbal Ali, by Garg, by Priyani. Most simple one is by the Priyani, most detailed one is by Garg. But concept in all these definition is same. All of them are talking it is the application of water to agriculture. All of them are talking that this is the artificial application of the water to the agriculture. Uh, for what purpose is this application is there, that is detailed out more in one part, in one definition, and detailed or less in other definition. But all of them are the similar kind of definition. You should be knowing one or two of these definition. Artificial application of water on an agricultural land for the assured growth of the plant life. So purpose over here is specified assured growth of the plant life. Purpose over here in the second definition given by the Garg, Santosh Kumar Garg, is that artificial application of water to the land. So here is the purpose and how to apply it in accordance to the crop requirement. So he constrained the definition that if you apply the water in accordance with the requirement, then it is irrigation. If I apply water without consideration of the crop requirement, like sometime if we overflood it, then he thinks that this is not irrigation. If we overflood or we provide water more than the requirement, or when the requirement is there and we provide less, according to this definition, then that will not be irrigation. So I will say that the first definition is sufficient enough for assured growth of the plant life. Artificial application of water is irrigation. Garg further says that this application should be throughout the crop period. Crop period is the duration when we sow a crop and at the end of the time we harvest the crop. So from sowing to the harvesting, we say that this is a crop period. So throughout the crop period, when we apply water for the sustained growth, for the as per the crop requirement, for full-fledged nourishment of the crop. So here he said that for assured growth, he say for full-fledged nourishment of the crop. Similar things are stated in different way. Assured growth, full-fledged nourishment, more or less similar thing. So Iqbal Ali say both of the above Indian author, they say this is the he did not say science or art. Garg say that this is a science of artificial application. Iqbal Ali say it is art of applying water. I think this use of art is not a good use of the word art over here. In strict terms, art is that thing which is not which don't repeat itself. While scientific experiment or science is those things which we can repeat if the similar conditions exist, if the similar input is given, similar output will be coming out. So I think irrigation, if we give the similar input, similar constraints, similar environment, similar output, we still get. So I will say that irrigation is a science of artificial application of water, not art. But we cannot change his definition. He has given it, and we have to uh, uh, mention it over here that Iqbal Ali think irrigation is the art of applying water to the land by artificial means to fulfill the water requirements of the crops in areas where rainfall is insufficient. He has mentioned the need of irrigation, why to apply it. They did not mention this thing, need of irrigation. You should also should be thinking why we need irrigation. Why not rain is sufficient? Why not we go out to the rain-fed agriculture? The reason for that is uneven availability. So this why irrigation is can be seen from the what we say from the water availability in Pakistan. I don't know. I have those slides over here or not. Water availability in Pakistan, if you see, with respect to the water availability. Uh, 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 uh. So this is salinity. Here is it. So if we see the average rainfall of Pakistan with the help of this colored map, we are telling you average rainfall in different part of Pakistan. So take a few minutes, try to absorb it. So tell me which area has the least rainfall, average annual rainfall least is in which place. I can zoom for you people if it is not visible.
Rajasthan.
Balochistan area and Sindh area have, but if I
Turbat.
ask you तिब्बत तिब्बत से भी
Turbat,
ज्यादा
Turbat,
है
sir.
तुर्बत इज तुर्बत
Sir,
कहाँ पे है
bottom left, you can.
मुझे जो नजर आ रहा है लिस्ट जो दैट यू कैन फाइंड फ्रॉम दिस कलर कोडिंग दिस इज द रेनफॉल in millimeters per year. So this red color mean 1800 or more rainfall, 1800 millimeter of the rainfall. That is 1.8 meter of the rainfall per year. And 0 to 50 is this color. So that color I see somewhere over here. Nokandi area. This Turbat is relatively higher than that. It has other color coding. So Nokandi and then somewhere over here, Sakkar area. Then also somewhere over here maybe at the top also. On the northern part of Pakistan, I think this is a darkest shade. So some part of the Balochistan, some part of the Sindh, they have the least rainfall as less than 50 millimeter rainfall. 50 millimeter is approximately 2 inches rainfall. If you use your fingers, it is like this 2 inch of the rainfall in the whole year in 365 days. So this is 400 line. Then we go to the greenish. Green does not mean everything is fine. So, but this is color coding. So 400 is bulk of the Pakistan is below 400 millimeter rainfall. Bulk, we can say two-thirds of Pakistan or larger than that is having less than 400 millimeter rainfall. And this rainfall, so from this figure, one thing we can take out, water is not, rainfall is not evenly distributed. When we say it is not equally available everywhere. So that is the climate condition, that is the natural condition. We have not done anything to it. This is the natural occurrence. Maybe Allah has given something else more powerful to those areas where rain is less. They have been bestowed with the minerals, they have been bestowed with other natural resources. But as far as rainfall is considered, this rain is not evenly distributed. So, and some places have very less rain, less than the requirement of the agriculture to sustain over there. So, in all those places where rain is less, we and plain area is suitable for irrigation. So over there we can get very good agriculture if we supply water, and we have done it. This irrigation system which you see at the moment has not been developed in a year or two. It is the development of the decades, it is development of the centuries. This irrigation system, as you are seeing now, has been developed artificially since 1800 something, when first canal in this area was dug by the English rulers over here. So this modern irrigation system have been practiced over here since 19th century, middle of the 19th century. Previously, we did not have the structures like barrages. So this irrigation with the help of the barrages and headworks have been practiced since 1830 or somewhere like that. Previously, people used to take canal out from the river directly, no structures built. So that canal used to run in the flood season, and it used to be dry in the non-flood season, because in the flood season water level was high, water comes to that canal. So we call such canals as inundation channels or the flood channels, something like that. Okay, so because rain is not equally available are the places, so at those places which are good for agriculture, but they don't have the sufficient rainfall. Most of the Punjab is considered good for agriculture. They don't have sufficient quantity of sufficient rainfall over there, so they needed artificial application of the water, and people in 19th century knew about it, so they provided huge canals in this area, Upper Bari, Doab canals, and other system of the canals in this area. Triple canal system was constructed over here, and this area was brought to cultivation. Previously, cultivation was also there, but cultivation used to happen only area close to the river. In the belt, we call it as a floodplain area. In local language, we call it as Kache ka ilaka. So agriculture used to happen in floodplain area. Flood comes, soil was soaked, soil was wet, and after flood recedes, they grow crop over there. So one crop they used to get, but they see that this land can be cultivated twice or thrice in a year if water is available, continuous supply of water is available. So then this irrigation, which we see nowadays, was provided to this area. And the second thing, irrigation becomes artificial application of the water becomes necessary. That can be understood from the hydrograph of the rainfall. If we see the availability of water, hydrograph of the rainfall, if I have for Pakistan, I'm not sure. So if we in hydrology, you might have seen that we have two seasons of the rainfall. One is the monsoon season, and one is the westerly system of the weather. Bulk of our water is available in the monsoon season. So 80% of the water is coming through the rainfall in 3 or 4 months of the monsoon. So if 80% is water is coming in 3 4 months, and other 9 months or 8 months are with the less or no water from the rain, how can I naturally grow the crop? How can rain-fed agriculture can sustain? So that's why I need to artificially provide water to the crop in other 8 months. So artificial intervention was required, and that is irrigation. So because rain is not available evenly all around the Pakistan or all around the area, and because rain is not available evenly with respect to time, so irrigation becomes necessary. So why irrigation? So that is the answer for that, because rain is not available evenly throughout the Pakistan, and you should support this statement with the help of that normal rainfall map of Pakistan, and stating that some part of the Pakistan has so much rainfall, less than 50 millimeter, and some part has more than 1800 millimeter of the rainfall. Bulk of Pakistan, two-thirds or more than that, has precipitation less than the 400 millimeter per annum. Artificial application of the water become necessary, and that is the irrigation. So if somebody asks you, tell the importance of irrigation, why we need irrigation, so then you should be able to answer in this way. Good practices of irrigation is even more emphasized, even become more necessary because of our growth of the population. Population is increasing at a very rapid speed. If you see the slope of this line, this is the population in different years. At the bottom, this is 1800, 1850, 1900, up to 2050. So this is 2000. So we are at the moment in the middle, 2020, somewhere over here. So we are close to 8 billion. We have not yet reached to the 8 billion, 7.4 or 7.5 billion we have reached to the figure. And you see the slope of this line is quite steep in the previous few decades. So rapid increase of the population is putting burden to food and fiber requirement. So society is needing more food and more fiber. Fiber means uh, food fiber also, and the fiber is also required for clothing purpose also, textile purpose also. This cotton is a fibrous crop. Cotton is a fibrous crop. While this, what we call it, wheat and rice, these are the food crops. So we need more food and fiber because of the increase of the population, and that necessitate that more area should be cultivated so that we can have more output, more food and fiber yield can be obtained. But keep in mind, our land resources are limited. We don't have very uh, we don't have abundance of the land. We don't have freely available land which can be brought to the cultivation because some two-thirds of the earth is covered with the water. So one-third is land area. Take out from that one-third the desert, take out from the one-third hilly area, mountain area. We have very limited cultivable land. We use the word cultivable land. So now people know that if we want to meet the need of the population of the world, not only Pakistan, if we want to meet the needs of the people of the world, we have to enhance the output from the. We should increase the area also, but that becomes difficult in certain countries. Japan cannot enhance their area. In Pakistan, we have still the capacity to increase the area if water is available. So, but in many countries, area is the limitation. So they need to enhance the output of the available area. So that can be enhanced by good irrigation practices. So if we carry out good agriculture practices and good irrigation practices, then we can sustain in the future. Otherwise, food and fiber will cause more and more hunger. That is one of our sustainability goal also. Hopefully, everybody knows about these goals. These are the common words in the development field. These are the development goals for the humanity, SDG of the all the country. You should be knowing about these SDGs. There are 17, I think, SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals. I think the first one is to reduce poverty, and the second one is reduce hunger. So both of them are related with agriculture and irrigation. Sixth SDG is provision of the water for the drinking and drainage of the water, and enhancing the
Sanitary.
supply of the water. Ji?
Water and sanitary, yes, sir.
The six is directly related to the water, but out of the 17, we can say that 9 or 10 are related indirectly to water. They are dependent upon the water. You cannot avoid water for that SDG which is dealing with the health. Health is highly related with the good supply of water and the good drainage of the excess water. Similarly, those poverty reduction is highly related with the water. Why we I'm saying that the poverty reduction, because poverty is related to your availability of food also. Poverty is defined as if some person don't have a dollar per day income, he is considered I think poor, something definition like this. It is related to a dollar per day, or yes, dollar per day. So about 33% of the Pakistan is considered as poor. So poverty reduction is related to the economic activity. Economic activity is related to the, as I told you, agriculture is one of the big contributor to the economy. So that is easy way of avoiding poverty if we enhance the agriculture activity through irrigation and through provision of water. Similarly, if we carry out water related works like construction of the dam, they kickstart the economic activity of the whole country. If we can start construction of a mega project like dam, hundred of the industries start working along with that. So that can also avoid the poverty in the area and can distribute the money in the whole country. So population, enhancing population is a stress, and that stress is necessitates that the people like you and us should work in a better way for provision of this very valuable resource. This population enhancement is not evenly distributed in all the countries. We people are higher sufferer of this. Less developed countries are increasing population more. More developed countries have reached to us a kind of stagnation, and rather they are having a negative growth. If you see this graph, this is giving us a message, a particular message, that the population growth, if we see on the world level, that is alarming. But if we see that that is not with every country, developed country have kept their population enhancement, and underdeveloped country are bulging at a higher rate. So they are needing more food and more fiber, and they should work uh, even more than the developed countries, so that they can fulfill the needs of their people. So that is a high disparity between developed countries and the underdeveloped countries or less developed countries. Our population growth is much higher. So all the population growth we can say is in the less developed countries. So they are already suffering from the economic problems, and this population growth will further burden them. If we see the increase of the population in each billion, we see that the last 1 billion was added in 12 years, while the second billion was added in 113 years. इतना ही बनेगा ना, 27 minus 4 13. So 113 years it took us to go from 1 billion to 2 billion. 6 to 7 billion took us about 12 years only. So that is because of the rapid increase of the population, the cumulative effect of the population. We have to consider this, because this will put more stress on our constrained resources. So efficiency is necessary. Population distribution is not even, some places are highly populated, India, Pakistan, and so these countries have to think about their food and fiber requirement even more cautiously. This is China, here Japan, and this place. It's a more dense country. Why irrigation is required? Something I have already covered, but in a strategic manner, in a planned manner. In these 4 5 reasons are mentioned over here that gives rise to why irrigation is required. This I have already discussed. Rainfall is not uniform. We want to enhance crop yield. I have already discussed why we want to enhance crop yield, because our land is limited. So whatever the land is available, we want that we should get more water out of it. So good method of irrigation will be helping us with the, we call it high efficiency irrigation method, HEI, high efficiency irrigation, HEI. What are those? Those are these sprinklers, those are these drip irrigation, and there are some agriculture practices which enhance the efficiency of applied water. From the efficiency of the applied water, we mean we get more crop from same unit provision of water. 1 cubic meter of water, if I provide, if I get more output, then I say I am getting better efficiency. So we use a slogan for this thing. We say more crop per drop, more crop per drop. So that is slogan agriculture and irrigation people use it and try to enhance the efficiency. Extracting water, exacting water requirement. Exacting means provision of the water as per the need of the crop. So that for that irrigation is required. Drain-fed agriculture does not provide water as per requirement. So if we want to provide water as per the requirement, exacting the water, the irrigation is required. If we want to enhance our income, so we have to move toward cash crops, and the cash crop are more water intensive. They need more water, so irrigation will help us. Assured water supply, if we want, assured water supply is necessary for enhancing the crop output. If you are sure that you will be getting water in the season of the crop, you will be putting more money to get good seed. You will be putting more effort to prepare the land, and you will be putting more resources on fertilizer and these things. So then you will be getting better. If you are not assured that water is available, you will be not putting much efforts on other parts also. So overall output enhance in this way also. For orchards and gardens also irrigation is required because they are delicate, they don't sustain a drought period. So for their sustained growth, these are some of the reasons that irrigation is a compulsory thing in this area. We continue from here in the next lecture. If you have any question, what we have intended that in 1 week I will be taking 2 hours lecture and Habib Sir will be taking 1 hour lecture, and in the next week we will be shifting in this way. So if one of us is busy, maybe we will changing it, but in normal days we will be doing like this. So I stop it over here. If you have any questions, suggestions, you are welcome. I take a 1 or 2 minutes. There is a message from a student. What he want to say? Raise a
Uh,
question. Noman Ali Bhatti. Ji Noman.
yes, sir. Sir, as we all know, there's a basic hydrological cycle that works in order to give us water. For example, like we are mainly dependent on precipitation or glacier melts or some other sources as well. तो सर इसके अंदर ये कि हाइड्रोलॉजिकल साइकिल के अंदर अगर फॉर एग्जांपल एक ऐसा निज़ाम चल रहा है जिसकी वजह से मुझे एक सर्टेन वॉल्यूम ऑफ वाटर मिलता है जिसको मैंने यूज़ करना है और उसके बाद मैंने उसे वेस्ट कर देना है तो सर कितने अरसे बाद क्या इस चीज़ का हम हिसाब लगा सकते हैं कि कितने टाइम बाद एग्जैक्टली उसी साइकिल से मुझे कितना वॉल्यूम मिल उतना वो वॉल्यूम कब मिल सकता है या वो टाइम फ्रेम जिसमें हाइड्रोलॉजिकल साइकिल पूरा होता है कि एक सर्टेन यूनिट वॉल्यूम जो है मुझे दोबारा अटेन हो जाए क्योंकि सर ये जो टाइम फ्रेम है ना इसके अंदर अगर इसका अंदाज़ा हो जाए ना तो लाइक पानी की कदर इंसान खुद ब खुद करे कि अगर मुझे एक गिलास पानी मुझे मिलता है अगर मैं पीता हूँ तो उसके कितने अरसे बाद जाके मुझे वो रिलैप्स करके तो एक गिलास पानी मिलेगा उसमें
Yeah,
कदर भी होगी
your question
वेस्टेज
is about the speed of water in different phases of hydrological cycle. Your question is related to that. That rate of flow of water in different hydrological processes in hydrological cycle, that is different. You can see it is very fast in the shape of the clouds. In few days, they are made in the uh, they are evaporated from the ocean, let us say, they go to the atmosphere, they move towards certain area. In few days, they come back. So within the
यस
atmosphere, their life cycle is not much longer. But when they come to the surface, then it takes usually if it comes to the if that water comes to the ocean directly, so cycle completes within minutes. But if it comes on the mountain, then it reaches to the ocean. If I say ocean is my starting point, let us say, because this is cycle, we take any place as a starting point. So if we say that ocean is our starting point, then it takes usually months to reach over there. If once water is dropped on the mountainous area, in Pakistan we have the lag time from Tarbela to let us say to ocean about 12-13 days it takes water to go over there, but we have the mountains beyond Tarbela also, we have the northern area. So I will say that 20-30 days is the time period which water takes reaching. In groundwater, water is there for millions of the years. The deep groundwater that is not being recharged every day. Okay, river water, if I use it, if I pollute it, it comes back after the next monsoon season, it will come again. But if I damage the groundwater, that will not be rectified. The upper layer of the groundwaters, those are replenished, those are recharged every year, upper layers. But now we are going to the deeper layer. We are now drilling and we're boring the deeper layer. Those are like mines. Those are there for millions of the year. So that we are mining the water at the moment. If we have damaged that one, or if we have taken that one, that will not replenish in several decades
क्लीन
or several years. So different processes have different speed of water and different recharging time. So we should be like glaciers are there for millions of the year. if once they are melted, we should not say that they will be replenished in next decade or next century. They will take
Exactly.
millions of years to come back over there. So from here we can see that different processes have different speed of water over there, recharging speed or replenishment speed. So
All right.
hope
Thank you,
that's
sir.
the question.
Yes, sir. We should realize that we should not take this for granted कि पानी जो मिला है इसको जाया नहीं करना चाहिए क्योंकि इतने अरसे बाद आपको वो रिलैप्स होके तो
ऐसे
पानी में.
ऐसे ही
Thank you, sir.
ऐसे ही Thank you, Ji. Any other question? So please lower your hand. Okay. I stop recording and thank you very much and keep record of attendance. CR, please.